Hey everyone, Jeremy here. It is Thursday night and we're going to create some art. It's going to be awesome. So you may be wondering what we're working on tonight. I have mentioned in previous shows that one of the things I like to do just for fun is I like to give away my art, but also in interesting ways. So something I've done in the past is I've created wood burning art, pyrography, if I can ever pronounce that word correctly. Um, I'll probably mispronounce it a lot throughout the night. I've done some wood burning art that I've hidden out in the woods on occasion and left it for people to find. So that's what I'm working on tonight. I'm not really good at this stuff yet. I'm still practicing. So that's basically what this is going to be. It's just going to be a hangout on a Thursday night practice session where I create fire. It's going to be great. So let me go ahead and switch this. So as you can see, I've got a chunk of wood here. I've already got kind of like a drawn in pencil where I want this owl to be. And I kind of already started just to make sure that my device was working properly. I'm just going to jump right in. And then, like I said, I'm not very good at this. I'm still working on it. Like an experienced pyrographer probably would watch this and be like, "Oh, you're making so many different mistakes." That's fine. I'm self-taught. I'm just trying to keep from burning myself, to be honest. Kids don't, make sure you try this with a parent around. Um, but anyway, a shout out to some of the people in the room. We got Kid who's on vacation. She is out camping, which is awesome. Watching this show while camping, which is really appropriate considering I'm playing with fire. Um, we got Rome Dog in the house. We got Because They Can, and we got Kinsley, which is awesome. So yeah, I mean, I don't know how this is going to turn out, but one of the things I'm trying to get better at is, I can do the line art, I think, which is fine. But I'm trying to get better at doing the shading, which I think, it's probably just trial and error, to be honest with you, practicing different temperatures. But, I'm still not there yet. But this is fun for me. Like, if I create this kind of stuff and hide it out in the woods, I feel good, better about myself. I think that's awesome. It's like a lot of fun. So, yeah, I'm into this kind of stuff. In Coon, South Carolina. That's a that's a place I've never been, I don't think. I feel like Cancun, Mexico would be fun right now. See, what Kid hasn't told us yet is that she's actually on spring break. She's probably on spring break out there. Yeah, so like the shading, I think is going to be a little bit challenging just because I'm not really sure what temperatures to burn at, and I don't really know how to use all these different tips. I've been trying to practice like offline, and I think I can do better than some of my earlier pictures, but I'm not confident in how this is going to turn out, to be honest. Yeah, I think she's out on spring break. She's out there with all the college kids living it up. I don't know. Is it spring break? I don't know. I feel like maybe spring break already happened. Like I couldn't even tell you what kind of tip this is, to be honest with you, or what it's properly used for. Like there's probably some tips that are made for shading. I don't know. I like looked. I don't really know what all I've got here, but that's okay. We'll manage. The goal is to make something that looks cool enough that if somebody found it in the woods, they would take it home with them. That's it. The bar isn't very high here. And the other thing is, like my previous work didn't really look realistic to me, and I think that's largely because of shading. So this is like a practice one too. I think I might go back and redo because I haven't hidden the squirrel one that I did a while back. So if this turns out well, I might go back and do some touch ups on it. Jeremy, if you don't mind me saying, what did this setup run to get going? Oh, that's a great question. I think it was under $100 for this burning kit. It's kind of hard to see here. Let's see. Well, I can't really move it around without. Well, you can kind of see it here in this. Like, let me switch to this real quick. Hold on, 1 second. There we go. If I switch to this, so this little burner thing here is hooked up to this thing here. Okay, and you can see the temperature on it. Um, I think that thing Costs about $100. I don't remember. It's been a little while since I bought it. I bought it sometime last year. Um, it's not the cheapest thing. There are the for like $11, I think you can get like a low key wood burner from like any hobby store, like even Walmart. But you want to get something like this just so that you can burn at the really high temperatures. Like you can do some wood burning with I mean, it's basically a soldering iron, the introductory one. But all the people who do the kind of art that I want to do end up using something like this. So I wanted to up my game because I'm not looking at this as like, oh, I spent $100 just to do crappy work. I look at it as like, well, the more I practice with this, the better I'll get, and then I'll do like really cool work that maybe somebody might want, like in their home or something like that. Like the squirrel one, I almost would keep myself, except that I feel like I need to do a little bit of work on the shading because I don't want it to just be line art. I don't want it to look like it's like a cartoon. Yay, Kinsley's gonna have her puppy in a few weeks. That's awesome. The Yorkie, I remember. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I've been toying with the idea of making an app for new pet owners. I think I might actually do that soon. I don't know. We'll find out. Um, but I was thinking about building an app for new pet owners to kind of like track their puppy's progress. Because like your puppy's first years are pretty formidable. I would have loved to have tracked my puppy's first couple years. So I was thinking about building an app for that. It'd be fun. We'll see how it goes though, because I am pretty like I'm pretty lazy. Well, I'm not lazy. It's just I spend so much time working on other people's stuff that when it comes to like software, I barely ever um, get to do any of my own stuff. Like there's a couple of software projects that I've been wanting to do for years. Some of them treasure hunt related, like little games and stuff like that. Like I mean, it really wouldn't take me a lot to build, but I'd like to build things on top of it. But I had this idea, like the movie Pirates of the Caribbean, where Captain Jack Sparrow has this compass. It's a magic compass. It points to like anything that he like. It points to what he desires the most. I think that's the lore. Um, so I was thinking I could build that app really easily, where you know you could put in the GPS of something you care about. Like say it's like a loved one or something that's afar, like maybe you're traveling or something like that. Um, you could put in the GPS, and then this compass would always point to that GPS. I thought that'd be kind of fun. And the problem is that's not enough to build an app. Like you'd have to build other things on top of it. But I thought that would be a cool starting point. It's like, the compass that points to whatever you desire most. And then you can like kind of decide what you want it to point at from there, you know. But it'd be kind of cool. Like say you had a boyfriend or a girlfriend and you've got this app and stuff, and you're like, yeah, it always points to the thing that I desire the most or whatever, and then like you pull it out and it's pointing at them. I thought that would be kind of cute. I don't know. I'm dumb. Never claimed to be the smartest guy in the room. Important thing is I'm in the room. No, so I think as long as I keep moving quickly and don't let it rest too much, I can get some shading. Like if I quickly move it. The other thing is I can mess with the temperature a bit, but I'm not there yet. I'm not that skilled at this. But I do think it would be kind of cool just to be walking out in the woods and stumble across this like owl just sitting there. That's the whole idea. Like you can burn pictures of whatever, but for me, it's the wildlife where it looks like it's like in a tree or something like that. It's like sticking out or something like that. Also, Jeremy, you are doing one of my favorite animals. Owls are one of my favorites. That's cool. That's awesome, Kinsley. Happy to do it. So I'm probably not going to hide this. I don't know. I don't know where you live. But I will probably hide this in the woods here in central Kentucky. But if anybody's traveling to central Kentucky, I'll give you a clue as to where it is so that you can have like a leg up. Because I don't mind being biased, showing favorites. But no, I thought I'd probably put this out at like in the woods at some local park or something like that, and maybe post to Reddit that it's out there and see if somebody can find it. Maybe put a clue just so that it's a little bit of a treasure hunt. But also, like the last one I did, I thought it was kind of cool that just like a family stumbled upon it. So maybe I won't write any clues. Maybe I'll just hide it. But it's got to be cool enough to hide. That's step one. So gotta gotta really make sure that we do a good job here. The other thing is I probably will not get this owl done tonight, just because I know how these things go. It does take a little while to do this stuff, so just bear in mind. I'm gonna try to get the face done and then kind of move away from that, but I probably won't be able to finish it. But that's okay. It's a Thursday night. You go to sleep. You wake up tomorrow. It's Friday. We're just supposed to be hanging out. I mean, literally, kids out at a campfire. Oh, she is out at spring break. Sorry, I missed that. That's funny. That's funny. I was making a joke about how you're the kid out there living it up in party life. That's funny. Hey, Cooper, how's it going? Welcome to the show. We're creating fire tonight. Gets a little warm in here whenever I do these pyrography. Like I said, I can't pronounce that at all. So I think it's important to kind of get the shape of the owl in there first, and then we can kind of move into trying to get some details. And I'm trying to use some of the principles I usually do when drawing, like the further you get away from things, the less detailed it has to be. But that's not really the case with this because it's supposed to represent like a realistic owl in the tree. I wonder if I can get like actual flame going. That would be cool. I also have a bunch of other tips here that I might try after a while, but I just wanted to get things going with this one because this one is pretty good for doing the line work at least. I don't know about the shading. We'll come back to that. I've been thinking about also doing maybe some streams on the weekend, like Saturdays and Sundays, but I don't know if people are busy or not, especially like when summer comes around and stuff. I get the sense that people are busy on the weekends and I wouldn't have that many people watching. But then I see that other people do it sometimes, so I don't really know. I guess I could try. Like, I've done some streams in the morning and a few people showed up. I like the idea of a Saturday morning stream just because Bob Ross used to be like not streaming Bob Ross. I don't even know when Bob Ross passed away, but it was long before there was streaming involved, I'm sure. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know when he passed away, to be honest. But anyway, not like Bob Ross. Well, like Bob Ross, but not streaming like Bob Ross. Bob Ross does stream. Although, ironically, he does stream a lot. Like they have a live stream of Bob Ross. I think it runs like 24/7. I watched it like during Thanksgiving one year just to have something going on. It's it's pretty cool. Like watching that much Bob Ross is actually therapeutic, to be honest. I'm not busy on the weekends, especially at night. I'll teach my puppy about your streams. That's hilarious. Your puppies are gonna grow up to be like artists. It's because they want like they'll be making art with their dog food and things like that because they watch this show. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, like there are some animals that really watch my, like they really get into watching my show for some reason. Oh, 1995. Okay, I probably knew that actually. It's just I had forgotten. I thought it was sometime during the 90s, but I wasn't sure. Yeah, that'll work. I got a little too dark there, but that's okay. I'll compensate by making the other side dark. But yeah, like Bob Ross is the man. Anyway, there are some animals that actually watch my show. My my brother's dog watches my show pretty frequently, which is funny. I've never heard though that dogs watch my show whenever I'm drawing a cat. It's only when I'm drawing other animals. I don't know what they get out of it. Like, do they just like listening to me? I don't know. Like, they can't possibly know what I'm drawing, right? I mean, dogs are pretty smart though. Um, so just to let you guys know, since you guys have been asking, Guinness is doing way better. Um, I think he's going to make a full recovery. But I have noticed that he's a very smart dog. He knows when. So like we've got all these pills that I'm supposed to give him, and he gets like 3 pills a day, like 3 small pills and stuff. So I try to like put it in his food, but he's gotten to the point where he knows that there's a pill in there, and he'll either like separate the pill out from the rest of the food or just not eat it. Like he knows that there's medicine in it, and he's a super smart dog. He is incredibly smart, and I don't like he keeps outsmarting me. I have to like vary it up. Right now, I'm feeding him like wet cat food with the pill hidden inside of little balls of cheese. So I'll put the pills inside of a little ball of cheese, but then I have to. He's gotten smart to that, so I can't just give him a little ball of cheese with this pill in it. I have to then hide the pill with the cheese inside of cat food, and he hasn't. I don't know if he's listening or not, but he hasn't caught on yet. He hasn't caught on that his pills are in the cat food, or maybe he just like doesn't care, and maybe he just really likes the cat food. I don't know, but it's funny. Imagine I walk into a room one day and see my puppy in a little art outfit with many painting canvas. Hey, I don't know if they're real or not, but I have seen um, video of people's dogs drawing. So, like, obviously, it's not like master work or anything like that, but somebody will paint something and then, the dog will take over and paint something else and stuff like that. You can train a dog to paint. I don't think you can train a dog to actually paint anything that's recognizable. But like if you want some abstract art drawn by dogs, I think you can manage that. I don't know what's involved in that, but yeah, you can have an artist dog. That'd be cool. If you do have an artist dog, I would definitely watch that channel. Like I would watch that a lot because that would be a lot more interesting than my channel, to be honest. Watching a dog paint. So I don't want just lines and stuff, but it's tough to get the shading. I probably will have to go over this several times before I get it the way I want it. Because like some areas come out darker than others. There's some other tips and tricks. So like I've seen people who do pyrography also do like get some wood carving and stuff. Like I have a Dremel. I might come back and like Dremel in some like highlights and stuff in the areas that maybe got too dark. Like I can imagine some like white uh, um, like feathers and stuff like that. I think a Dremel might work with that. In case you're wondering what a Dremel is, it's basically like a rotary tool with like a little attachment on it. You can um, you can use it to kind of carve stuff. So I might do that. I don't know. It depends on how deep into this. Like I said, this is intended to give away, so I don't know how much effort I will put into it. It's mostly just practice. Like honestly, this is like the third piece of pyrography I've done, and I'm always ambitious about it. Like I want a realistic owl coming out of this, but really, your first couple of times doing pyrography, you're probably not going to get anything that resembles anything real. But it's still fun. Still fun to practice. I tried to do a little bit before the show so that I wasn't completely doing it completely wrong. I don't know. Give him a piece of ham and then hide the pill. Oh, he's gotten hip to that too. So like, I have taken cheese. So he likes ham, but he doesn't like ham if the pill's in it. And now he's starting to be suspicious of all ham because I started with that. He loves ham, or he used to love ham. So I would start with giving him a piece of ham, and then he realized the pill was in it. So then he'd eat the ham and not the pill. So I started putting the pill inside the cheese and then putting that in the ham. But then he got hip to that. Now he's probably going to learn the cat food trick too. But yeah, he's super smart. Like I hear what you're saying, but he will figure that out quick. He is not having it. He is not into those pills. I don't know if the pills just taste bad or something like that, or if they're like giving him troubles, but he is not liking those pills at all. And it's not, like some animals, you go to give them pills and they just don't like that you're shoving a pill down their throat. And it has nothing to do with the taste of it or anything like that. I think with these pills, I think there's a taste to them that he doesn't like because he is smart. He will root those things out, and he is not having it. It's like when I try to feed him a pill, he looks at me like, "Really, please? I mean, are we gonna do this again?" That's the look he gives me. He's like, "Stupid human." But no, I mean, like the last couple of days, he's been acting himself, which he wasn't before. Like he was acting a little bit odd. So I'm pretty happy, and I think ultimately he's going to be fine. I've never had a dog that had a fever that I can recall. Like maybe I have, I don't know, but I can't recall ever having a dog that had a fever, much less like an infection like that, which is what I think it was. I think it was like a chest infection, um, because he was coughing and stuff like that. He's knock on wood, he stopped all of that. So I'm hoping he's not necessarily out of the woods. He's still got a bunch of pills to take. Like for some reason they put like 56 pills in there, and he's supposed to take like 4 a day. That's a lot of days. That's like I thought it was gonna be like a week or something like that, and it turns out he's spending more time on the pills than I thought. But whatever makes him better. Sardines might work to hide the pill. Yeah, the smell of sardines certainly could cover it. So yeah, tuna worked by the way. Yeah. So before I went out and bought like wet cat food and stuff, I didn't really have anything to like try to shove it in, and I know that sometimes they like tuna, so I tried the tuna and that worked. So I think the smell of the tuna probably masks the smell of the pills. But he's a smart dog. Dogs are really smart. For example, Moose, one of my other dogs, will stare at his water bowl and won't drink it because it's not fresh. You have to put fresh water in or he won't drink it. Yeah, for real. So I agree with you. Dogs are smart, but then also some dogs are stupid. Guinness is super smart. Bear is super stupid. She is so dumb. She is the dumbest dog I've ever met. I love her. Like I would not tell her this to her face. Well, yeah, I will, but she doesn't speak English, so it's fine. Um, it's but yeah, she's not a very bright dog. She's so cute though. She is adorably cute. So it's fine that she's not that smart. And they work together as a team. So like I hope that Guinness, who is a little bit older, he's 11 years old by the way. Somebody asked how old he was, and I didn't remember. Apparently, he's 11 years old. The vet had those records. Um, so he's he should have some good years left in him. 11's not that old for a dog. He's got, at least a few more years. But anyway, I'm hoping he sticks around for as long as Bear sticks around because like the two of them, they're a team. They're brothers and sisters. But like I would not. I mean, I couldn't picture Bear without Guinness. Like she relies on him. It's one of those type of brother sister type relationships. Like I don't always get along with my siblings, and I'm sure most people don't and stuff. But these guys, they're like partners. But yeah, they're adorable. Moose also understands the word hot dog. That's amazing. He loves hot dogs, so if you say hot dog in any sense, then you got to give him one. Yeah, they're so Guinness. I think one of the reasons he's smart is he's got part border collie in him, and that's also why he's so like anxious. He jumps around a lot and stuff because like when you have a really smart dog like a border collie, apparently they need um, constant things to work on, right? So like you can give them puzzles and stuff like that, or like make their food hard to get to, and they'll figure it out. That kind of stuff. They like to have their minds occupied, or else they're gonna like go around and just create havoc in your house. Um, but anyway, like I had heard about this guy who had a border collie that understood 1,000 different words for food. So like he knew hot dogs, I can't say pizza because Dennis knows pizza. Um, but he trained his dog to know 1,000 different food words, and I think that's amazing. And border collies are super smart. So if you ever wanted a super smart dog, but the problem is if you get so like Bear is so dumb. She is so dumb that it really doesn't matter if you give her any kind of like mental stimulation. She's basically just the kind of dog that sits in front of the TV and drools. So she doesn't need much. Whereas Guinness, if you're not giving him some sort of mental stimulation, he's he's anxious, right? So like if you do get a border collie, you kind of have to realize that they require a little bit of maintenance. They're a bit high maintenance when it comes to paying attention to them and making sure that they've got something going on. My dog got mauled by something big and mean this weekend. 5 hours of work over 100 stitches and seven drain tubes. I'm so sorry, Warhorse. That's terrible. I hope he's okay. Hope he's out of the woods. Yeah, that's terrible, man. Sorry. I so thankful that that dog has you caring for him because like some people just wouldn't bother with that. Good on you for giving him the kind of care that he needs. Some people would just be like, well, I'm not dealing with that. That's a lot. That's crazy. Best wishes for a speedy recovery. Seven drain tips. Wow, that's crazy. I think we got the basics of an owl in here. One of the other things, I don't know what I don't know how wood see I should make it because the other thing that you can do, you can color some of this stuff too. Either with paint or colored pencils or like even watercolor. I think I want something that survives out in the woods, but colored pencil probably would because that's wax. I don't know if I want to add any color to this. We'll see how it goes. Fish and Game Warden thought mountain lion, federal trapper. So did the dog like? Were you out with the dog, or did one of these things come in your yard, or like what's the story there? Did it get in a fight with a bear or something like that? Mountain lion? Have you left art to be found before? Yes, coop art. Yes, that is the whole thing. So like the reason why I'm doing pyrography is because it's wood. It can stay out in the woods. It can survive the elements for a short period of time. And I have done this once. I did it last year. I've got another piece with some squirrels on it that is good to go. But I wanted to like practice doing some shading and stuff so that I can maybe make the squirrel one a little bit better. But yes, I have put out one piece at least out in the woods. And it was found almost immediately by like a guy who was just out walking with his kids. So, like I'll probably do the same with this one, not like intending to leave it out for like a long period of time. But yeah, so in my mind, the challenge here is to make something that will, survive the elements if it had to for like a day or two, like a week or whatever. I mean, I don't anticipate this being outside for like a year or anything like that. But and then the other thing I haven't done with the squirrel one, and I didn't do, so I did a fox one, did a squirrel one. I wasn't really happy on with the shading on either, so that's why I'm trying to do a little bit better here. Um, but the other thing is, I wanted to oil them up to kind of like give it a little bit of a stain. Um, we'll see if I get to that, but yeah, I want to do that as well. So that's the idea. $3,400 trip to the vet. He's doing better day by day, still in a lot of pain. Oh, I'm so sorry, man. That's terrible. Coupart says, I love it. I'm thinking of some creative way to leave something random. Cool concept for sure. Yeah, I mean, as long as it's like weatherproof or something, I think you'd be all right. Um, like if you do something on paper or something like that, it's probably not going to be weatherproof. I've also thought about maybe doing stickers, things like that. I don't really know. I just like the idea of doing public art. I've also practiced with doing like sidewalk chalk, which I'm going to do more this summer. But those are temporary pieces of art. You can't take that home with you. Um, it's kind of like permissible graffiti. It's like if you do charcoal and stuff. I mean, sidewalk art with chalk and things like that. They don't like they don't get mad at you. I don't think. Versus if you did it with paint, they would probably be upset. So, just a couple of different ideas of doing like public art. This one is fun because it's kind of like a treasure hunt. It's like you're just walking, or like it can be a treasure hunt, or it can just be like you're just walking through the woods and you happen upon this, and it's just a nice surprise. You know, it's like, hey, there's this owl over there. That's kind of cool. And then you come up to it, and on the back, I write my name and email address and all that stuff so that somebody can contact me. So I let them know, hey, this is yours to take home. It's not, you're not stealing it if you take it with you. Because like the idea is I would leave it in like a park or something like that, where it might be a little bit kind of ambiguous on whether or not they can take it. But yeah, that's the whole idea. Warhorse says, I was gone for the weekend and came home Sunday noon to a bloody mess on the front. Ah, man. Oh, that sounds terrible. Ah, well, I really hope your dog does better. Like, man, oh, that's terrible. That does sound terrible. Um, best wishes and stuff. I put positive thoughts out into the world for you. Man, that would be devastating. Like, I would hate that. I think I'm trying to think of like what wild animals around here might get my dogs. Like, Guinness is probably small enough that an eagle could grab them, but I think around here it'd be like, I don't know, wildcats or something like that. Maybe coyotes. There's some bears around here, but like I don't know if they ever come out of the woods. I mean, I live in like the suburbs and stuff, so like I don't think a bear is gonna bother anything around here. The other thing is this gets a little warm. So like if you are interested in doing these, just be aware that this does get pretty warm. The tip of it, like I've got this on a pretty low temperature, but the tip of it does get pretty hot. In fact, I'm gonna crank up the heat just to see what the difference is. So you can see it glowing now. That's kind of cool. Here, let me put it over the dark area. Yeah, see it glowing? See if I can get some fire going. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Get some like smoke going. So cool. See if I can get really sun. You have to be a little bit careful. So, like, kids definitely do this with parent supervision if you're doing it at all. I don't recommend this for kids, to be honest. Like, stick with pencil and paper. Um, But like make sure you have plenty of ventilation. Like I don't really have a lot of great ventilation in here, but I like the smell of burning wood, so it doesn't really bother me. But it's going to smell like a campfire. Nothing toxic. It's just burning wood. But yeah, for sure. Don't like leave this unattended. I mean, some of this is obvious, but don't leave this unattended because like it will start a fire. I mean, basically the temperature here is like 900 degrees, I think, which is like pretty hot. Wood-fired pizzas are cooked at this temperature. What kind of wood are you using? So that's a great question. I wish I knew. This is a scrap piece of wood because I'm giving it away. I wasn't really putting a lot of thought into it. So um, I don't think this is anything special. I think this is like pine, but I'm not 100% sure. That's a great question. Um, what I've got is like a lot of scrap wood that I've collected over time. Like whenever there's like a storm or something like that, and people go out there and cut down trees and stuff, I'll go out there and salvage some of that stuff. Always anticipating that I might do some wood burning. I think this is pine. Don't quote me on it. If I was doing this for real, like if I was trying to do a professional piece or something, I would probably use like a hardwood, like an oak or like even a cedar or something like that would look really cool. Um, I'll tell you what I'm really trying to do here though is I'm trying to practice because I do have this really nice piece of wood. Maybe I'll take a picture of it over the weekend. But I've got this horse farm nearby has like a lot of beautiful oak trees. Like you always see those pictures where like and especially down south you have like the road lined with all these trees and stuff like that. That's the kind of horse farm this place is. And they one of those oak trees fell over last year, and they cut it up and stuff like that. And what I've got access to is this very long, at least 6 foot tall, long piece of wood that I think they were originally going to use as like a bench. It's an oak piece of wood that large, and I convinced them to like let me have it. So the idea is if I get good at this, I want to do a big 6 foot long version of it, and on this oak wood that I've got, which I think would be awesome. Like that's one of those projects you want to like plan out and spend some time with. So this is all practice for that, Like if um if this was like sports or something, this is like the minor leagues. That's like the I'm not very good at sports metaphors, but that would be like the World Series of wood burning for me. This gigantic piece, and it would still be similar themes. So I would have wildlife on it. I would have like an owl peeking out, but also I would have like a bunch of different things because it's so large. So it would be a collage of several different things. I would have owls, probably a bear, foxes, some squirrels, maybe. Just like you see this piece of wood out in the woods or something, and it has all these critters living in it. That would be the theme of it. But yeah, so I don't want to screw that up because that's like nice wood. I mean, you can make a table out of that wood, and it would look nice in any kind of office or home or anything like that. So, for me to take on decorating it and stuff, that's a pretty big deal because I don't want to screw up the wood that would otherwise be very nice, if that makes sense. Warhorse says we got just about everything up here: lion, bobcat, wolf, bear, coyote. Oh man! So like, is this? Do your pets ever like get in trouble before? Is this like a new thing? Like, does it seem like he got in a fight with one of these things, or did they just like kind of maul him out of the blue? Man, that's just terrible. I hate that. That's just terrible. Makes me feel so bad for him. Yeah. I love this temperature. So this is like 800 degrees right now, and it's like fire. Sorry, get a little excited. All right, so I am going to crank this down in temperature, and I think as soon as this cools down, I'm going to switch tips. I'm going to try to get something that I can do like a little bit more shading with while I'm drinking my bourbon, which is probably highly flammable. I should be careful. So switch this without touching it so I don't burn myself. I'm just going to leave that sit there instead of on the table because I'd rather burn this wood than my table. I think I'm going to switch to. I don't have like a lot of things that I don't know what is for what, right? So I think this right here is probably good enough for doing some circular kind of shading. So you just basically you swap them out and then you kind of like screw them back in. It is fun. I think like you're gonna have to check prices because it may have been less than it could have been like $70. I don't remember. In my mind, it's all it would cost like $100 for this, but I don't really remember. I'd have to look it up. But if you're into this, it is. Yeah, they cool down pretty quick. So move that to the side. Um, yeah. So anyway, um, uh, sorry, I got a little sidetrack here. One second. I don't think I put this in all the way. Whew, that's hot. Don't touch these things. Do not do what I just did. All right, cool. All right, anyway, while I'm setting myself on fire, um, safety first, guys. um, yeah, so like, what was I saying? Something about like the price. I don't know, but like, it's it is a fun hobby, you know. An awesome start to a good looking owl. Thank you. Yeah, I think this will look okay when it's all done. I don't know. Yeah, this one isn't working the way I thought it would. Let me switch this out one more time. How are we doing on time, by the way? Oh, we're doing great. Yeah, like I said, this isn't for everybody, and mostly the reason I'm doing this is again, it's the way that I came up with for hiding um art out in the woods. I like doing public art. I like doing art that I share. I like doing art that you know people can interact with. Let's see, Coop Art was wondering like how do you share art like that and stuff. Another thing that I had in mind was that like I could hide um, art like at Goodwill. Like I could do a an art piece, go ahead and frame it with like a Goodwill piece of like frame or something like that, and then just bring it to Goodwill and just drop it off and be like, yeah, like here you go. I'm donating this and stuff like that. Meanwhile, I'm the one who actually created it, which I think would be kind of cool. So that's another one. Hear me out if you've been wise. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so like I mean, the whole point is you don't have to like do crazy things with your art. You can, I mean, to be honest with you, I've created so much art that I have like, I have like pictures like all over the place. I've got a stack of like frames behind me with a bunch of pictures that I've done. I think, I think I've got like 50 pieces of art, like just varying pieces of art that I've done for this show. You know, mostly pets and wildlife and stuff, and a bunch of different mediums. Some of it like pastel, some of it ink. Not very much painted, but yeah, yeah. I'm not very happy with this tip either. But yeah, I just have like this huge collection. So like, well, why not give some of it back? And if I'm going to be creating more, why not create it with the intent of giving it away? So like that's the idea behind this. This is something that I can leave out somewhere. Like I can even go like in the middle of town and just put this up against a building or something with the sign like "Take me home," and somebody will take it. I think because it is kind of cool. I mean, it may not be the best owl in the world, but it's still kind of cool. I think it's cool. Tell you what, if I was walking around and I saw this, especially after I get it oiled up and making it look nice and all that stuff and finish it off, if I was walking around and I saw this out there, I'd pick it up and take it home for sure. Um, Going to art shows and stuff like that, I've seen some examples of other people who've done some pyrography. It's always cool, you know. My thing is, I kind of grew up. My dad, I think, had like an old, simple burner. It kind of looks like a soldering iron. Um, and I kind of thought like this was something they did back in the 80s, like they would burn something onto a clock or something like that, and that's the extent of it. I didn't know that people were doing actual art with burning on wood, and it is an art form that a lot of I don't know if it's like all that popular and stuff like that, but it's way more popular than I thought. And when it comes to you know like hiding something out in the woods and stuff, you don't have a lot of choices. I mean, you can do sculpture or something on like rock or like carvings on rocks or something like that, but um, this also works and it's fun for me. I enjoy this, and when I get better at it, I'll be super happy. Hey Tom, how's it going? Glad you think so. I appreciate that. It's it is a fun owl. I gotta remember where everything is. The other thing is I'm not really sure like how enclosed do I want him to be? Like do I want to fill this in so that it looks like he's sticking his head out or kind of just like leave him be? I think I might do that where he's kind of like inside the wood, which means I will definitely have to crank up the heat and get some serious like darkness around him. I like it when it's super hot. Like I just cranked up the heat and stuff. I like when it glows and everything. I don't know. Like, hold on. Yeah, you can kind of see it glowing. It's cool. Like a poker in a fire. And that works as long as I keep it moving. It works really good for shading too. I think. Like I don't want it to be too dark, but I do want to kind of shade. Um, I don't know if you guys have noticed or not, but I do a bunch of different styles on this channel and a bunch of different mediums and stuff. Even if you have something that you're kind of like locked into, like I don't know, like you're into like really using colored pencils, or you're into really using watercolor or whatever, or like me, you really like using inks and pastels and stuff. You really should try different things just to get outside of your comfort zone every now and then. It helps, you know. Like I will probably never be a master at burning wood, but it's still like a lot of fun. And it does make you think about how do I create this art in different ways and stuff. Like I barely know how to use this tool, so like me practicing with this tool is like in real time is exactly how it goes. It's like, well, what happens if I do this? Oh, okay, that's kind of cool. Like, how can I use that to do this other feature and so on? Like, if I leave it linger and stuff, do I get a darker mark? Um, versus if I move it around a lot, do I get lighter marks and stuff? That's all trial and error and stuff. Um, if you think about it, every single artistic tool out there and stuff, somebody used it for the first time, and they were doing basically this, where it's like, how does this work? How does this work? Let me experiment with it and see what I can create out of this. And that's exactly what it is. It's basically just creativity. It's like, how does this work? How can I make it do something interesting? What can I create out of it? And in this case, I can create an L, and it's a lot of fun, and I like it. I do like this tip. I keep coming back to it. I think I'm going to stick with this tip. Even though, like, all these different tips supposed to do different things, I've kind of gravitated towards this one. I'm going to try to do the whole piece in it. The smell is amazing, by the way. Kid knows because kid's out there at a campfire right now, but that's what this smells like. It smells like a campfire. That's why I want to say this is pine, probably, just because it smells like a campfire pine. But I'm not an expert on burning wood smells and stuff, but it smells amazing. I probably mentioned like early on. Yeah, so Kid knows what I'm talking about. It probably this is probably what Kid is smelling at her campfire right now. But early on, I kind of mentioned one of my inspirations for doing the kind of art that I do is I like to do the type of art where you have simple tools, simple mediums. So like you know, there's no better example of this than when I was doing coffee art, which I still do every now and then. I just haven't done one in a while. I think Thanksgiving was the last coffee art one I did. I need to get back to it. Anyway, point is, um, the one of the inspirations for this channel is art that you can that harkens back to the old days, where um, the the cave people basically like reached. Whoa, fire, neat, that was cool. The cave people reached into a fire, like a campfire pit, and pulled out a charcoal stick and started drawing with it. I like that kind of stuff. I think that's awesome. um, that's why I like using charcoal. It's very earthy. It's very authentic. It's very fundamental. Because like human beings have been creating art since prehistoric times and stuff. Whenever we start walking on the planet, that's when we start creating art, and it's always been with basic tools like fire. Or like various colored dirt. It's always been a very earthy experience, like in my view, like all the pigments and stuff that make up all the different paints and stuff, those are all natural things. That's like dirt and I don't know what else, like dyes. I don't know what goes into pigments and stuff. All I know is that like it's a very natural thing to create art with these materials and stuff. I don't want to dog too much on like digital art or AI art and stuff like. I mean, AI art is terrible, but digital art and stuff, people are really into that. I don't want to dig too much on it, but I prefer personally the authentic experience of just like burning stuff, and seeing what comes out of it. You can see I'm just like like a kid with a stick in a fire. It's like burn, nice. But it's a lot of fun. It is, and it's a lot of fun just because you basically are creating something out of nothing with very basic natural tools. I mean, this isn't a natural tool. This is electricity, but you get my idea. You get my point. I'm using fire as a medium. Fire on wood, and it's not lasers or anything like that. It's like Just me with a hot steak. Hey Lorraine, how's it going? Thank you. Appreciate it. This is not really, but kind of inspired by kids' camping trip. She's out camping right now, so we're burning campfire stuff. I like this guy though. I think he looks pretty good. One of the things I probably should have done also is I probably should have sanded this um, board before got in here, but that's okay. It is what it is. Crank the heat all the way up. There you go. See if I can get a really dark outline here so that I can kind of, I want them kind of like in a hole in the tree. So I kind of want to, I don't have to get very far into the weeds on this hole. Like I can always expand it later. The other thing is I also have a butane blowtorch, so any kind of major areas and stuff that need to be filled in with like just dark areas and stuff, I'll probably burn that later. Um, I definitely can't do a blowtorch in this room. I don't know, like probably my homeowner's policy does not cover that. But I do have like a butane blowtorch that I can use to like fill in some of this area as once I get away from the face. So it being Thursday and practically Friday, anybody got any weekend plans? Anything going on? As long as we're not flooding it anymore, I might go out this weekend. The weather's been pretty nice. Like it is nice to see all the spring in bloom. You got leaves coming up on the trees. I don't know. You guys might live in different places and stuff like that, but when spring hits Kentucky, it's beautiful. Everything just comes alive. Everything's been so brown lately that to see all the green and we've got some cherry blossoms around here. We've got I don't know what they're called. Was it red buds with the kind of like purplish looking flowers? Those are in blooms. It's just beautiful. It's beautiful out there. So I'm super excited about that. Yeah, the smoke is a cool part of the process, and every time now and then, like I can't predict it, but every now and then you'll get like a flame kind of flare up and stuff. I don't know how to make that happen, but every now and then you'll get a burst of flame, and it's like, oh, that's kind of exciting. But yeah, the smoke is cool. It smells amazing in here. Um, I really do think this is pine, but if it was like a very fragrant kind of wood, that would be also really cool. But this is just practice. This is a picture or a piece that I'm giving away. So I don't really care what kind of wood it is and stuff like that. I mean, I should probably care, even though I'm like giving it away. I should probably care about that kind of stuff, but I don't. It's just a piece of wood that was laying around. Um, when I do go to make like an actual professional piece, then I really need to bring my A game. This does kind of burn, so you might want to hold it from back here, to be honest. I don't know how much pressure you like. I'm trying to fill this out and give you guys actual tips and stuff. Like, say you want to take this on. Um, honestly, I appreciate you guys watching my channel and watching me go through this and stuff. But if you really want to learn pyrography, I'm still learning myself. So you probably do better watching somebody who's been doing it for a while. But I can give you some tips. Um, I don't think you have to press very hard. You do need to like think about your temperature. So like if you're doing like light lines and stuff like that, you can get that from like doing like lower temperatures. Right now I'm just kind of like trying to get a lot of dark in pretty quickly and stuff. So I've got it like super high. I think it's at 800 degrees. I want to say it's Fahrenheit. So it's pretty hot. That might be Celsius. I don't really know. but it's as high as the nozzle or like the little gauge will do. And then like all your different, you should probably learn how all of, so I'm using basically the same tip for all of this. But there are different tips and they probably do different things. So what I recommend is maybe like getting a piece of like, just don't go live doing this stuff, because like you're kind of locked in. But, you know, take some time and probably practice with each of the tips and see what they're used for. Like I've got a bunch of different tips over here. I don't know what all they're used for. I'm doing the one tip just because like I'm doing this live stream and I don't really want to be kind of practicing in real time, but or like getting crazy with it in real time. Like I do like this tip though. It seems pretty versatile. But there's like a ball one I think that is more for like doing line work and I don't know, a bunch of different things. So I recommend practicing with those, even though I'm not doing it. Do as I say, don't do as I do. Well, Donkey's got a little sniffle. Rum Dog says, looks great. Thank you so much. The smoke is a really cool part of the process. Coopart says, fantastic. Hey, Coopart, so one of my other ideas, I don't know if you were listening earlier, is to do art and then like put it, like donate it to like Goodwill or something like that. And then same deal, you know, put your contact information or something on it. Because like, you know, you go to like a thrift store or something like that, you don't really expect to find like original artwork. You expect to find like prints or something like that. It'd be kind of like a thrill, I think, to come across like an original piece of art, especially with the artist being local or something like that, or you know, like you tell the you know, you just basically put in your contact information so they can kind of like hit you up and stuff. I think that would be kind of cool. So like it doesn't really have to be art that you hide out in the woods. That's what I'm doing here. But yeah, you got the spirit. There you go, Cooper. Working on some small pieces to share. Yeah, I just think that's cool. You know, like I don't know. It'd be kind of neat if like people bought this stuff, but it's also fun just to leave like things that are just I don't know, just make somebody's day. Like I heard somebody else say this. This isn't me originally, but somebody else said this. And let's see how many. Yeah, so there's two likes on this now, right? So this guy was commenting about how, you know, he doesn't get like a lot of viewers, he doesn't get like a lot of people interacting and stuff like that. But those likes, right? So like I've got two likes currently, and just because I'm mentioning it, somebody's going to give me another like. But I have two likes, right? So that's two people I made happy today, and it's as simple as that, you know. Like it's such a simple thing that people don't really think about that and stuff like that. But like if I have two likes, that's two people I made happy today. So this being out there in the woods, somebody just happens upon it and stuff like that. I made somebody's day. How awesome is that? You know? Yeah, there you go. Third, it's up to four. See, that's what I'm saying. You mentioned it and it goes up, but that's four people that I made happy today. That's awesome. You know? Um, I wasn't fishing for likes, guys. I'm just saying that you know, it's as simple as that. Like you put this out in the woods, somebody comes across it. It's not the best art in the world, but it's still kind of cool, you know? Like I would like to find something like this when I'm out for a walk in the woods. So you come across this, you see it and stuff. It changes your whole day. I don't know if you're like in a good mood, a bad mood or whatever, but if you find something like this, your day's just going to be that much brighter, you know? So for me, that's enough. That's enough of a motivation because it's like basically building karma points, you know. I mean, I'm not really big on karma and stuff like that, but I do think that like what goes around comes around, and if you put good out in the world, good will come back to you. I think, and it's worth that alone. So I don't know. It's kind of selfish in a way because it's like you're doing this to make somebody else happy, which is actually making you happy. So it's kind of a little bit selfish, but that's all right. It's a good kind of selfish. I mean, it like if it wasn't at least partly about making yourself feel better, you wouldn't include your contact information, but you do because it is like reciprocal. Like making somebody else's day makes my day. So like I want to hear from them, and you know that'll bring me joy that they brought them joy. I don't know. You see, you get the idea. So I'm kind of debating, seriously, whether or not I want to add some color to this. Because you can. I was thinking that, like, if you use colored pencils to kind of fill in, like, some color on the eyes and stuff like that, that probably will survive out in the woods because it is wax based and stuff. So I think before I call this done, I'm going to try to use some colored pencils just to see how that looks. The um the question for me is that, like, I kind of want to oil this up and everything, make it like a nice color. I don't know how that would work with the colored pencils, to be honest. Like, will that break down the colored pencils? I don't know. Agrees. Make someone's day, and it leads to appreciation for art and possible support for your. Yeah, it's like you put in your channel or whatever. They pop in, you know. Like the guy who found my last piece, he subscribed. I don't know if he actually watches or not, but that's kind of cool, you know. But yeah, the other idea is that, like, I'll be doing like street art, like sidewalk art and stuff like that. That's one of those things where it's like, you know, somebody's just walking along the sidewalk and then suddenly they see this beautiful horse or whatever I drew, and it's like that's kind of cool, you know. Kinsley says my mood is sleepy, really sleepy, but I'm enjoying the stream. Hey, you know, like I've been told that I put people to sleep and stuff, so that's good. I'd rather you be sleepy than agitated while watching my stream. The smell of this is just so good. I love the smell of wood and burning wood. All right, I think that's good enough there. Let me kind of, but I think like the owl just kind of peeking out of a hole is kind of cool. It is tedious. This does take a while. That's why you know, I wasn't sure that I would get it all done in one night. I think I'm actually pretty happy with what I did get done. I mean, I'm not done yet, but I'm pretty happy with my progress. Because I'll probably come back and touch this up before I go and hide it. So a couple of different things, like if I was actually doing this professionally, this is obviously chainsawed wood. I would probably sand it down so that it's actually smooth. Um, I probably wouldn't use pine. I would probably go for like some sort of hardwood, something that's like worth keeping even by itself. Um, I actually like the wood that has like a live edge to it, so like the bark and stuff. This doesn't. I think the bark's just kind of like peeled off of this or whatever. But I would like a piece with bark. Um, you can buy wood that's like circular that has bark on it and stuff like that. That's not my style. What I would like is a piece of wood that looks like it belongs up against a tree or something like that. I don't want it to look too processed. So I wouldn't want anything square or round or anything like that. I would want something that looks kind of like this, but with some bark on it. Um, I don't know exactly where you can get that kind of stuff. I've just been lucky that I've happened across some pieces like this, but I think, you know, like you could probably find that kind of wood at different places. Like there are like lumber yards and stuff like that that'll probably hook you up with that kind of stuff. Not like lumber yards as in like you're buying two by fours, but some place that actually cuts up trees. You can probably get a really nice piece from them. Like I said, I really want to go larger with this. I want to go with I've got that oak piece that is like 6 foot long. I gotta measure it. I keep saying 6 foot long. It might be longer, but it's pretty big. It's like bench size. So I really want to do that because I think that that'll be a really awesome piece. That'd be worth something, you know, like. And I don't mean worth something like as in money or something. I'm saying more like worth something like you would want this in your house or you would want this in your office or something like that. Like I think this would still be kind of cool, like in somebody's home, but it's not like the big 8 foot oak piece. You know what I mean? All right. I think that's pretty cool. Now, just out of curiosity, kind of get this filled out a little bit more. So just out of curiosity, I think I am going to try the colored pencils just because I'm curious what that looks like. I may not like it, which means I ruined this piece, but I am kind of curious. So I'm going to go for it anyway. I'm going to put this to the side. Again, this is super hot, so you don't want to just set it down or anything like that. I've got this like little holder over here where I can kind of put it in there. Again, safety first, guys. Don't do as I say. Like, or don't do as I do. Do as I say. I mean, certainly, you shouldn't be drinking while burning stuff. Yeah, any kind of like redwood would be cool. Um, I don't know. So anyway, I got these Prismacolor pencils here. This is a pretty nice set, and what I like about it is it is wax based. So I feel like if I did some color with this and I left it outside, it'll still hold up because like oil and water don't mix or wax and water don't mix. So like um, my only question is when I go to oil this, will this hurt that? I don't know. But I'm gonna try with the eyes. Like the lighting in here sucks, but hopefully you guys can kind of see this. I'm gonna try to add some color to these eyes and just see if I like it. And if I do, I'll put splashes of the color elsewhere. The thing is, to me, it should be a wood burnt piece. So like this should be a subtle additions to it, not the main focus. Like if I really wanted to draw in colored pencils on wood, that I would just do that. But I want this to be largely a wood burnt piece. But when you have an owl, the eyes are really important. So like to add some color to the eyes and stuff, I think that's kind of a cool addition. The most versatile thing I've ever bought as far as art supplies is these colored pencils because they work on basically anything. Like you can use colored pencils with um uh like wood color like sorry, watercolor. You can use colored pencils with um just colored pencils by themselves. You can basically use them with anything. Very very versatile art piece of art supply. So let me kind of get some color in this nose here. Again, like a little goes a long way because most of your art is already done with the wood. So this is one of those deals where it's just kind of like accent colors. Also, I don't really want to burn through my colored pencils on this piece because like basically the wood would be like kind of a sandpaper, like just eating into my colored pencils. But already I think that looks kind of cool. Yeah, yellow inside. But yeah, if I saw this just sitting out in the woods, I would totally nab this. I mean, why not, right? What's Geppetto doing? So he's like, oh no, don't burn me. He's hiding from the fire. I was wondering if anybody would notice that. Like, very, very cool that you did. Hey, puppy. What are we drawing today, huh? Are we drawing an owl? What do you think of the owl, huh? You afraid of owls? You afraid the owl's gonna get you? Man, that's terrible about Warhorse's puppy. But yeah, just like a little subtle color. Again, I don't want to overdo it. I just want to kind of get the impression of these colors in there. Just so that, they're there. And I might work with that a little bit later. But let's see, we're coming up on hour 15 minutes. I will only call this done soon. So let me get some white highlights in here. Again, I kind of feel like I'm cheating using colored pencils here, but I really think it works well on this particular picture. because like I kind of want it to stand alone as a wood piece. And obviously, wood does not have colored pencils attached to it, but for this particular piece, I'm pretty happy with it. Again, a little subtle color and stuff, not going crazy with it. Kind of treating this almost like as like white charcoal on a charcoal picture. And I might tinker with these things a little bit more later, but I don't know. I think that's pretty good. Pretty good little enhancement. I think. There you go. Let me add a little bit more color to. A little bit of color up here. Again, this is all wax based colored pencils. So the whole theory is that you put this out in the woods and stuff, and this is something that would survive the elements at least for a little while. I'm not suggesting that you hide these things out with the intent of them being out for like a year or anything like that. What I would suggest is like say you did something like this and you were kind of following my example, you would put it out there, like in a public park where it's likely to be seen in a week or so. Um, Coop Art says, "Will you sign?" So what I usually do with something like this is on the back side of it, I'll put my name and my email address and how to contact me, just to let me know that that they got it. It's not really so that like I can be like, "Hey, I'm an awesome artist and stuff." I'm not signing it for that for that kind of reason. It's more so that, hey, I appreciate that you found this stuff. Let me know if you enjoyed it. So I would put my contact information on the back of it. But yeah, I would definitely give them a way to like let me know whether or not they enjoyed it. Yeah, the little pops of color. Yeah. So I don't know how I feel about it. I've kind of got mixed feelings about it. Again, part of me is like, well, the wood should kind of stand on its own and stuff. But for this piece, I'm happy with it. Like maybe in the future, if I do more of these and stuff, I may not do that. But I think off screen, I'll probably work on trying to get some of the shading a little bit better in here as well. But yeah, little pops of color I think are appropriate. One of those things where it's like, I don't know. Maybe it helps it, maybe it doesn't. But in this case, I think it's fine. I think it's pretty cool. All right, let me put this to the side. So yeah, I'll probably go ahead and call this done here pretty soon. But I'm gonna work a little bit on the hole. But yeah, I mean it's hard to see in this lighting and just how things look and stuff. But those little pops of color are kind of cool. Let's see if I can get some more flames going. That's pretty cool. Part of this is like about making cool art. The other part is let's just create some fire. I mean, I don't want to alarm anybody, but I'm a little bit of a pyromaniac, just a little bit. You know, it is a lot of fun to play with fire. I appreciate fire. Like I could sit around a campfire, and just watch the flames and stuff, and I would consider that a very good use of my time. It's very relaxing to do that stuff. I love, um, fireplaces in the winter time. It's just something about fire. It's relaxing. I know it sounds disturbing because like pyromaniacs and stuff being what they are, but I think everybody can relate to even normal people can relate to fire being a soothing kind of a human experience. Unless your house is burning down, in which case it's not soothing at all. Jeremy, I wonder if when you're done with the colored pencils on the wood, if you put a heat gun over it to melt the wax, what would that do to the color? So, hey, I'm glad you mentioned that, because another thing that I was thinking about, I don't know if I'll do it with this piece, but I have a box of crayons. Like way a long time ago, I did a picture where I was doing crayons and I was melting them with a hair dryer, and I was trying to create art doing that. Again, I'm all about experimentation on this channel, so you give me some fun tools, and I'll be like, hey, how can I make some art out of that? So somebody gave me like a crap ton of crayons. I mean, a big container of crayons. I think they found it at a thrift store or something like that. But I have a ton of crayons. I'm not talking about like a box of 24 or something. I'm talking about hundreds of crayons. Um, so anyway, I went about creating art with that, and it's kind of funny that you mention it, because on the idea of like using a heat gun to kind of like get the wax of the colored pencil in there, you can do that with crayons. In fact, um, there is a form of art that is all about painting with wax. It's called encaustic painting. So this would absolutely be a good candidate for an encaustic painting, where you're mixing the wood burning and the wax from crayons that is melted into the wood. I don't know if I'm going to do that with this, but yeah, that would be awesome, like an awesome kind of mashup between wood burning and encaustic paintings, using crayon as a wax. Encaustic paintings is just using wax in general to paint with. It's got like a long tradition dating back to, like, I don't know, Renaissance times or whenever. You can find the Wikipedia article on there or something if you're interested. But yeah, using wax as like a medium, a long tradition of that, and I think that using that with wood is a really great idea. I don't have a heat gun in front of me or like my crayons for me, or else I would demonstrate it. But yeah, I mean, in theory, that would probably go better than these colored pencils anyway, just because I have so many of them, and they're so cheap. I do like the smoke. The smoke is awesome, and it just smells so good. Ah! I love the fire. Sorry. Something about the fire, it's just fun. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to alarm you, dog. It just pops up like that. You don't really know that it's coming, because I can't duplicate it. Like, I can't make the fire happen. I don't know how to make the fire, but when it pops up, it's just so surprising. Anyway, sorry. That's fun. But yeah, crayons, probably a great idea. After you, please. Crayons would probably be good. I had the colored pencils laying around. That's why I tried that. But I don't know. Like, again, it's tough, because like there are like also people do watercolor, which I don't recommend if you're going to be putting this out in the woods. But most people aren't doing it for that sake, um, which is like what I'm trying to do. Um, but some people use watercolor. There's just a bunch of different ways to add color to it. But again, I kind of have mixed feelings about that, because I also kind of feel like you should be able to create a monochromatic black and white picture that kind of stands alone as well. I guess it's just a matter of preference. But I would like to get better at the shading, where I feel like I have created something that it's on its own merit. It doesn't need the color. But anyway, I'm actually surprised at how much progress we made on this. I think this is probably a good stopping point. We're like almost at an hour and 30 minutes. There might be some touch ups that I do to this before I hide it. Certainly, I do think I'll add some oil to it so that it's not just bland wood. So, like, I think it would be kind of cool to just kind of give it, I don't know, some sort of oil wash, or maybe some stain. I don't know. We'll see. But I don't want it to just be this blank wood. I'll do something with it. Nutty bars now come in moon pie form. I love moon pies. They're so good. But yeah, so I'm pretty happy with this. I think it turned out okay. I don't know what my expectations were, but I would say that this actually exceeded my expectations, considering this is only the third picture I've ever done using these tools. So pretty happy with it. Um, but yeah, definitely. When I go to hide this, I've got some video that I took of the last one I did, and I've got the squirrel one, which I'll probably revisit and try to get some of the shading right on it, and I'll hide that one too. But certainly when I go to hide it, I'll take some video of that and kind of share with you guys how that all goes and stuff. Especially if you're into like doing art that you're just kind of like hiding out in the woods or in your city or something like that, and you're kind of trying to like come up with some ideas for that. I'm all about that, so feel free to hit me up, by email and stuff like that. I've got some great ideas, I'm sure, but I think that's just kind of like a cool movement. Like you don't always have to create art with the intention of selling it or whatever. It could just be for fun. Ha, nice fire. It could just be fun, and it could just be to like make somebody happy, like causing a brief momentary moment of happiness in somebody's life while they're out walking in the woods or at their park or something like that. There's worse ways to live your life. That's my outlook on it. You guys are talking about s'mores now, so now I'm getting hungry. So I'm gonna go ahead and call this done, and go get something to eat. But hopefully you guys appreciated this. Again, like I said, it's not the usual thing that I do on this channel. I probably feel more comfortable doing some of the other stuff, but this was fun. I like to experiment every now and then, and like I said, this is probably for a good cause because somebody's gonna get happy. All right. Anyway, hopefully you guys thought this was cool, like I did. Um, Appreciate it. Again, safety is first. So, like, if you do get one of these things, make sure that you practice all the precautions. Make sure you don't like leave it just sitting unattended. Don't let your dogs trip over it and stuff like that, and so on. I think that this will probably look better in better lighting, so I'll take some better pictures of this to share with you guys. But I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. This was a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys enjoy your weekend. If you guys got any tips for something to do this weekend, except for mowing the lawn, I have nothing. So feel free to share with me, give me some ideas. But I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Um, let's see. Yeah, I will see you guys on Tuesday. We'll probably be back with some sort of paper art of some sort. I don't know what it is, but we'll see. In the meantime, you guys have a great weekend. I'll see you guys then. Thanks. See ya. Bye.